Kansas tie. These days, kids are more likely to be cruising down virtual streets, stealing cars, and shooting people than they are to be riding their bikes down real ones. This is because video games have quickly become an important part of most young people's lives. Japan took notice to the interest that people have showed in video games and quickly cornered that market. Being interested in video games myself, I wondered, and as such researched, who is the most successful in the quest to become the best in the video game market. The Japanese have changed the way that the world views the gaming industry. Japan produces some of the most popular games in the world. 12 of the 25 most popular video games on one website's top 25 list were produced in Japan. They were such classics as Final Fantasy, Pac-Man, Super Mario, Legends of Zelda, and the original Pokemon games, Red, Blue, and Yellow. 3 of the top 5 video game producers in the world are Japanese. They are Sega, Konami, and Nintendo. Sega is responsible for Sonic the Hedgehog. Konami is responsible for such great things as Metal Gear, Silent Hill, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Nintendo is probably the best known producer of video games in the whole world. Nintendo has released such classics as Pokemon, Super Mario, Legends of Zelda, and a more recent favorite, Nintendogs. Japan also released the best-selling video game in the world. According to one site, Wii Sports, the first game ever released for the Wii platform, has sold more copies than any other video game ever released. All of these popular games had to be played on something, and while Japan did not release the first gaming console, they have released some of the best. The very first console to ever be made was called the Brown Box, and it was made by a man who was born in Germany. The Brown Box was made of wood, and in 1967 it was pitched to Magnavox as the concept for the very first multiplayer, multi-game system. In 1985, Nintendo, a Japanese company, put out their first system. It was called the Nintendo Entertainment System, or the NES. It quickly became the most popular system of its time. It held the title until Nintendo released their next system, the SNES, or Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Nintendo went on to do great things. They released the best-selling system of all time, the Nintendo DS and the variations thereof, such as the Nintendo DS Lite and the Nintendo DS XL. As you can imagine, Japan's success made the other countries feel a little jealous, and as such, they attempted to imitate Japan's styles and genres. Many games from all over now feature the art styles of chibi and anime that are considered to be the trademark art styles of Japan and their games. Most of the successful arcade games were produced in Japan, although the other countries did try to compete. The most popular arcade game of all time was called Space Invaders, and it was made in, you guessed it, Japan. I have now told you all that you need to know about the popularity of Japanese video games and the influences that they have had on the ones made in countries around the world. They help to make video games more widespread and popular amongst most societies. Whether you play by catching monster friends like in Pokemon, or munching magic mushrooms to gain superpowers like in Mario, most of us are plugged into video games, and we can thank Japan for its influences. Thank you.